Hi, welcome everyone to the virtual forum on data economics. This is the first in a number of sessions we'll have planned on this topic, so we welcome all of our panelists today as well as the audience. Thanks for joining. I'm Jennifer Hinkle. For those participating today who don't know me, I'm a health economist. I'm also a cancer data researcher, and I've spent more than 15 years in the health policy and biotech sectors in the US, Latin America, and Europe. I'm currently working in the biotech industry. I'm also completing a doctorate at the University of Oxford, and I've been part of this research collaboration on data economics for about 3 years at this point. I'm very excited to help host the session today. I'm excited that this expert alliance has the opportunity to share some of our discoveries and ongoing projects with a much larger audience for the first time. Also, for some housekeeping items, we'll be watching the Q&A here in the Zoom. So any questions you have, please go ahead, type those in. They'll be relayed to our presenters and our panelists. Also, this session is being recorded, so if you have to miss something for any reason, you'll have the opportunity to see that again another time. On the agenda today, can we get that agenda up there? Thanks. On the agenda today, we have 3 main segments. We only have 75 minutes. There's only so much ground we can cover in that time, so we hope what we present today is enough to whet your appetite for more. We do promise there's a lot more coming in terms of deeper dives and richer content. This is really just the start. So in the first segment, I'll introduce Argo Ray. He's the founder of the Data Economics Company. He will introduce us to the emerging scientific field of data economics and help us understand what that is all about. Second, we'll hear from Surtaj Brar. He's been working to implement technology solutions in data economics across a number of industries. He will welcome a group of panelists to discuss data economics projects and implementations in healthcare, finance, climate, recycling, agriculture, and more. Third, we will wrap up hearing from Argo and colleagues about what's to come in the data economics field and how the Data Economics Company and the broader Research Alliance plans to advance the science through 2021 and how you can get involved. So I hope the excitement and the optimism that this group of researchers, experts, technologists has developed around data economics sparks your curiosity, and I hope that you decide to join us in imagining what lies ahead. So to kick off the top of our program here, I will introduce Argo Ray. So he is a Berkeley-trained computer scientist. He's a mathematician, also an alum of Microsoft. Since Microsoft, he started a number of companies. He's really, in my opinion, one of the founding science minds of the data economics field. And it's really nice to have you here today. So thanks, Argo. I don't know if I can hear you. You might still be on mute.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it.
So Argo, you first introduced me to the science of data economics a few years ago. At the time, I was very interested in, and I continue to conduct research in health economics, and this idea of attaching value to complex outcomes. I found this really compelling. So the concept at the time, you've been really working for a while on this idea of a data economics operating system, and the concept that data can bridge, basically, be a bridge or even a language, I guess, between data and how we are expressing value, and then how we can even exchange that value. So really how data can be an economic tool. So that's really captured my imagination now for a while. And I have to say, it was a huge aha moment for me when we started talking in the healthcare background. And I know there's some of our audience comes from that background as well. We're very used to talking about clinical utility, clinical outcomes, and expressing value that way. But we have not traditionally been that great at pulling those outcomes through to talk about the financial value or societal value of science and innovation, and how all of that can connect into clinical value and really into this broader idea of outcomes. So that was very exciting for me.
Yeah, Jen, at the time when we first started talking, I had quite limited exposure to the healthcare world in general, but realized very quickly that from a game theory and economics math perspective, that, and obviously through discussions that you and I and then our alliance had, that the types of problems that were challenging the healthcare industry really are not that different from similar problems in other industries, where data to tell the whole story is siloed. And as a result, it's difficult for parties to come together and agree on what value is. This really gets to one of the core promises of data economic thinking, if you will, that when data can be packaged up and becomes interoperable through data economic operating systems, such as the one that we are developing with the Lydian DEOS, it allows much more contiguous views of valuable and meaningful outcomes in these highly complex industries.
Thanks. And, I recall some of our early conversations where I was talking, healthcare economic problems, and you were talking about things in gaming and esports because of your technical background and business background. And there was kind of this shared moment where we realized we were both talking about some bigger picture economic concepts, some concepts in game theory, some concepts around shared incentives. And those kinds of things, and really value and translating, value into something that can be exchanged.
Yeah, Jen. I mean, I'm glad that we had that meeting at that coffee shop in Emeryville and have had a chance to correspond ever since on the ideas. None of this would be here without that. Since then, as you know, we've developed a research alliance that includes economists, mathematicians, computer scientists, and experts in fields that are as diverse, and you'll meet some of them: healthcare, biotech, finance, manufacturing, climate science, agriculture, telecom, energy, and gaming, which is near and dear to my heart, which has led to the development of this science that we call data economics with a capital D and capital E, and a technology suite called Lydian, including, as you mentioned, the Lydian data economic operating system.
So data economics is really an emerging discipline and field of study. And based on our previous discussions, I know there are a lot of ways to define it, to explain it. But how would you go about explaining data economics at a high level to our audience? And we'll assume, even though we know we have some folks we've been chatting with for quite a while on here, let's assume that there might be people listening to this who really are new to this field, and they might not be experts in economics or in data technology.
Sure, I'll approach in a couple of different ways. So the most general definition would be that